Halloween, Samhain, All Hallows Eve. In my last video, I essentially spent the whole time lamenting about how fall doesn't feel the same as it used to. And in that video, I briefly mentioned how a lot of that has to do with Halloween, a holiday I always look back on with nostalgia. It was the one I looked forward to most in childhood, hands down. It topped Christmas, topped Easter, all the others. There was just an ethos about it that couldn't be compared with any other time of the year or any other festivity. And it's natural as we get older to become disillusioned or disenchanted with a lot of the things that we used to love and idealize as children. You know, a lot of that is just, it's going to happen with age no matter what. You lose that magic, that sense of wonder. Anyway, I think a lot of it also has to do with this rampant, shameless, shallow commercialism that is shoved down our throats from every angle, day in and day out. Every time you open up your phone, you get a targeted ad for some bullshit that you don't need. Every year, Christmas decorations go out on the shelves earlier and earlier. Start getting Christmas ads, holiday sales as early as fucking June, because Christmas in July is a thing now. And it really makes me sad. It makes me look back on my childhood and how much I loved Halloween, and it makes me think, what was it that made me so excited? What is it right now that I long for? What was it about that time that I wish I could go back to? And I think that even when I was a young child, it wasn't just the candy or the decorations. It was a deep, emotional, and spiritual connection to the ethos of Halloween and the ethos of fall. It's that liminal state between life at its peak in the summer and the slow dying and the silencing of winter. Introverted people find a silent comfort in the liminal. I said that in my last video. And what I mean by that is, it is a transitional place and time. Whether it's the woods in the fall, a cemetery at night, or at the intersection of railroad tracks, there's something about those locations or at a particular time that feels like home. A crossroads or a liminal space is quite literally the antithesis of home. And I think that relates to a lot of us having a wandering spirit. We don't like to stay in one place for too long. We don't like to get stuck in one job or one activity we have this need for connection, but when we stay too long in one place with too many people around, it is exhausting. When interactions are so superficial, you just want to go to some place that is quiet, where people don't stay very long, they only pass through, where you can sit in silence and watch your thoughts, feel your emotions, and let them flow away. And Halloween, I think, connects to that in a much deeper subconscious way. The theme of death is central to Halloween, as it were, as much a celebration of life that has passed and the summer that has passed. It is also a mourning of the life and the summer which have both passed. Really, when you think about it, it is like a wake. People will shed their tears at a funeral. They will speak their memories, the parts that stuck with them, and then they will go party it up and drink in honor of the person who has passed. It is a celebration of their memory, just as much as the fall or the harvest festival or Halloween is a celebration of the seeds we have sown coming to harvest. It is utterly agonizing and exhausting for a sentimental person to exist in such a materialistic and shallow society. Commercialism, small talk, it seems to corrupt and trivialize everything that we hold sacred. The fall was always a sacred time. Halloween was always sacred. Because it wasn't just the things you could buy or the aesthetics, it was the connectedness. I remember a couple years ago, about 2 years now, I wanted to hand out candy on Halloween. As I was looking back on all the memories, I remember being so fucking excited to go trick-or-treating, and now I was in a position to be the one on the other side of the door, contributing to that experience and that memory with a new generation, passing on that joy and that excitement. And I did face paint like the Crow, and I dressed up like the Crow, and I sat on that front porch for 2 hours. 2 hours. Nobody came by. I didn't see anybody on the street. And as a sentimental person, that almost made me fucking cry. I remember sluggishly going back inside with this full bowl of candy, setting it on the counter, going up to the bathroom and looking in the mirror, and what was cool Eric Draven face paint started to look like fucking clown paint. I felt like a fucking clown, and the world felt like a circus. It broke my heart. It really did. And it makes me hurt for this new generation of kids that they'll never know what it was like. They will never understand the excitement. Don't get me started on trunk or treat. I think another contributing factor to why Halloween and fall as a whole doesn't feel the same anymore is because it literally does not feel the same anymore. It is currently 82 degrees in western PA. The leaves are changing, but even though I'm in the shade right now, I'm hot. It is too hot. It was too hot last year. Shit isn't right. It's just not right. Nothing's right. I could go on longer, but speaking completely off the cuff and from my heart is difficult. I'm far better at writing than I am at speaking. However, if I try to read from a script that I've written, while the words will be 100% genuine from my heart, it will not sound authentic. It will sound forced. I struggle with that. I've always struggled. And I've gotten better at speaking. Maybe I'll continue to get better with practice and keep making these video journals. But for now, I'm just gonna keep improvising. The materialist world is a very difficult place for the sentimental soul. I want to try to end this video on a positive note or an inspirational tone. I think if there is one silver lining, it's that the more we disconnect and the more we retreat from this commercial world, and the more we retreat within ourselves and with our own mind, it can force positive change. It can be dangerous. Spending too much time inside one's head can be a dangerous thing. It requires discipline and the ability to stand back and view yourself from an outside perspective, which is very difficult. But I think that's something that the world needs more than ever right now, is to put the phone down, turn off the TV, go somewhere quiet, and just exist. and it might tear you down. It tore me down. But in the process of rebuilding myself, I've found new hope. I've found the inspiration and the motivation to continue existing and to try to be the change that I want to see in the world. I think change has to start on the individual level. You can't fix somebody while you're broken. You can't fix a system. You can't fix society while you yourself are neglected. People spend time alone in silence, and they tear themselves down, and that forces them to reevaluate and to rebuild from scratch. Just as when the seasons change and all the trees and all the plants die back and the ground is covered with snow and ice and cold, the birds aren't singing, you don't hear insects. It's in that grip of utter stillness in the shadow of death where we can look forward to the thawing in spring and the sprouting of new life. I view all of life and history as cyclical, as I've stated before. And this is just another turning of the wheel.